Well, good afternoon. We had scheduled today an update to the community on a report on the first 3 quarters of this year and the city's crime rates and what we've done. And at 7:30 this morning, we had a teenager killed and another one shot. We had our 133rd homicide victim of the year. And while that's dramatically lower than we have seen, every single one is a painful loss of a member of this community. And it's a reminder to us why we have to keep doing what we're doing and making progress. What we're going to see is the full force of all the law enforcement resources here to make sure we get the shooters, in today's case, as we have been doing. Chief Bettison will take you through the numbers, but the collective efforts of these groups over the last few years have produced a reduction of 40% in homicides, 50% in shootings, and 67% in carjackings. But what we have been trying to do is instill a culture of accountability, both on the Detroit Police Department side and on the community side. When I started as mayor, we had a homicide clearance rate of less than 30%. We had a non-fatal shooting clearance rate of 15%. Now you think about that, 5 out of 6 people who shot somebody got away with it. And we were saying to the community that we don't value life when 5 out of 6 aren't investigated and aren't caught. But what you have seen over the years is all of these groups pull together, and now the chief is running clearance rates well above 60% in all of those categories. But we have had to pull together challenge after challenge. We were making progress on a culture of accountability in the city. And then COVID hit. And the court shut down. And you had people charged with crimes who didn't have a trial for 2 to 3 years. Sheriff Washington had to release dangerous people from the jail for lack of space. We completely lost the culture of accountability during COVID. But with the help of County Executive Evans, who pulled together Chief Frizard from the Circuit Court and my friend from the 36th District Court, Chief McConico, and the state, all of us came together and said, we're going to get this docket down. And prosecutors were these people, worked day and night. We got rid of the backlog of 3,000 people, and an amazing thing happened. Accountability came to the system, and the violence started to come down in a dramatic way. And I want to say to the Detroit Police Department, which has been terrific every step of the way, you saw in 2024, early in the summer, we had a spike of shootings at these illegal street parties that were going on till late in the evening. And it seemed like it was out of control. The Detroit Police Department set up the mobile field force and said, we're not going to tolerate it. And the last half of last summer, the violence went way down. Early on in this summer, we saw shootings among teenagers in a way we hadn't seen. The Detroit Police Department came in with the curfew and with the partnerships of our CVI groups, which 2 years ago we took the most dangerous areas of the city and we went to groups who were trusted and said, we have to do more than arrest people. Let's get folks to sit down, work out their beefs. Let's show them the education and job training programs. And now we'll take this culture from both sides. We'll show people positive developments as well as the consequences. And this summer, we had more resources than we've seen in all the times I've been here, back to the time I was prosecutor. Because the federal government weighed in. Prosecutor Worthy put prosecutors in 7 different precincts, which has helped raise the conviction rate on gun cases. But this year, the U.S. Attorney, for the first time in my lifetime, embedded federal prosecutors in 7 of our precincts to work the gun cases. And in exchange, Chief Bettison sent 2 of the top crime analysts out of DPD over to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Then the ATF and the DEA have dramatically ramped up efforts. Some of the gang violence came to a significant halt in August when we had a raid partnering with the sheriff and the prosecutor, but ATF and DEA and the feds went and hit 11 houses and took 43 illegal weapons out of suspected gang members' homes. And in the month of September, a month that usually is one of the most violent in the city, usually sees 20 to 25 homicides, we had 8. It's the lowest number we have on record. But each one of those 8 was a loss to this community. And so we wanted to come here. I wanted a day where I could say thank you to every one of these agencies for what you have done. When I was a prosecutor, all these groups fought with each other. Part of the time I was mayor, some of these groups fought with each other. But for the last 3 years, I know they go to the national conferences. You had an instance in a major city where a police officer shot the CVI member. There were that much hostility between them. We have a partnership between CVI and the police that's unlike any place in America. And I would say to the people of the city of Detroit, this doesn't happen in 1 year. This is a change in a culture of accountability that happens over years, but we've included it in your numbers. Judge Frazard, come on up. You've been responsible for a lot of this. Is look at the carjacking numbers from 2013, and we have dropped 88% in carjackings. You go back to 2013, and there was a culture in this town, if you needed a few bucks, you stuck a gun in somebody's face and you stole their car. And nobody bothered to do anything about it. It seemed impossible. 15 carjackings a week in this city. And now we're down to less than 2. Because we put in the green lights, we put in the real-time crime center, and all of the agencies here work together, and now there's a culture of accountability. People in this town know if you take a car, there's an extremely good chance that helicopters are going to track you and you're going to spend years in prison. We have changed this over time by getting people to make different decisions. And over time, we're going to get people to make different decisions on guns. It's already happening in the last 3 years in a remarkable way. And with that, I want to turn it over to the man who's been leading the effort, our great police chief, Todd Bettison.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to thank the folks who are standing with me. I got a lot of friends, and so that's what makes the difference in the city of Detroit. We all pull and lean on each other. And so I'm going to go through the slides. As the mayor already stated, the third quarter, we look at our homicide numbers from 2022 to today, you see the percentage, 41% reduction in homicides. But look at the whole numbers. In 2022, we had 223 homicides. And you can see year after year with the trend going down, down, down. And that's been based off the hard work of law enforcement. It's been based off the hard work of everyone. City Council investing in ensuring that we have the resources that we need as a department. The phenomenal men and women of the Detroit Police Department working hard in each and every day. You know, it just doesn't get better when we lean on our technology, the shot spotter, license plate readers, just the Board of Police Commissioner when it comes to improving our policies. And so this is a collaborative effort between federal, between state, between local, and let's not forget our community, who we have an excellent relationship with. When you talk about police and community, it really is the unbeatable team. So as the police chief, I have to be the luckiest police chief in America, because when I'm standing, I got all my friends standing behind me, and these are the type of results that we're delivering in Detroit, and we will continue on to push it down, down, down. And so the third quarter compared to 2024, and we're here at 2025, from January to September 30th, we're down 15% in homicides. And you can look at the whole number and see exactly what that means. But last year, we had historic lows, and so we're beating those trends. The next slide, which is even a bigger number, are non-fatal shootings. Just take a look at that. In 2022, we had 727 non-fatal shootings. That is a shooting where an individual got shot, but they actually survived. If you go down to 2025, we're at 366, which is a 50% reduction compared to 22, and a 22% reduction when you look at third quarter compared to the previous year. The men and women of the Detroit Police Department and this collaborative partnership that we have is paying results. And we're going to continue on, because we're not waving the flag of success. There's much work to do, but the strategies that we are implementing, what we are doing is working. but we're not going to stop. It's about continuous improvement. And so you will see us adding more. And my favorite word is and, A-N-D. We're going to do this and that and this and continue on until we get the violence in this city down to a level that we all agree that we're one of the safest big cities in America. The next slide, carjackings. This is what the mayor was speaking of. I remember even in the 90s, Mr. Mayor, they had to actually have a carjacking task force, and we had a unit called the Carjacking Task Force in the 90s. But in the early 2000s, you go back to 2022, we had just an astronomical number of carjackings. Going back to 2013, but in 2022, it was 292 carjackings. In 2025 third quarter results, we're down to 64. We're talking about from 2022 to now a 67% reduction. And last year we had record numbers in lows in carjackings, and now we're down to 29%. This is the slide that I want you all to really take a look at, because it lets you know Detroit, with what we're doing, what we can achieve. We broke the back of carjackings in the city of Detroit. In 13, look at that number right there, 537 carjackings. It was carjack city, but by being innovative, coming up with programs and utilizing technology such as green light and other technology as well. Today, in 2025, we have 64 carjackings and an 88% reduction. So I just want to let everyone know, thank you. I just want to let you know that with the partnership that we have, we're collaborative, and that's our pledge, to continue to be collaborative, to utilize every tool possible to make Detroit the safest big city in America. And I'm confident that we can get there.